Gordon, and this is the story of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. I'm 82 years old now, but I was there 75 years ago when the Japanese attacked. We lived on the other side of Diamond Head Mountain from Honolulu, and a house near the beach. I'm the little guy in the front. My father was the assistant manager of Eastman Kodak Company, selling cameras and film to the tourists, and we got to travel all over Oahu, going to many places that later became tourist hotspots. Our house was close to the beach, so we went down to the beach and played often. Here I am, I'm the little guy in the front. At 8 o'clock on that fateful Sunday morning, my brother and I were out shooting crabs with BB guns on the beach. Today, two 7- and 8-year-old boys shooting BB guns unaccompanied would be considered child endangerment, but that was common in those days. Everything was well and we were having a great time until suddenly my mother came running down the beach saying, "Come home, come home! The Japanese are attacking Pearl Harbor." We little kids had been well aware of the possibility of a Japanese attack for some time, and we played games about invading Japanese. We want to take our BB guns and go out and find the Japanese. But my mother would have none of that. When we got home, my father was listening intently to the radio. "The Japanese are attacking Pearl Harbor," it said. "This is not a drill. This is the real McCoy." My father made an emergency shelter for us under the sink in our laundry room, then said he had to go to the office and see what was going on, and got in the car and drove off. About 10 o'clock, some Army trucks and a tank pulled up in front of our house, and soldiers got out and went down toward the beach. This map shows the paths that the Japanese planes made as they attacked Pearl Harbor. The ones that swung around to the right went past our house that is shown by the big X. We didn't see any of the planes ourselves because Mother was keeping us inside the house. When my father got back from the office at around noon, he said that he could see lots of smoke and anti-aircraft fire toward Pearl Harbor, and that there were explosions in the city of Honolulu. Mother made some lunch and was putting it on the table when suddenly, bang, 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 machine gun fire almost in our backyard. Mother was so startled that she spilled the peas all over the table. My father took my brother, he was 8 years old now and a big boy, out the back door, and they went to see what was going on. They came back to report that the soldiers had dug a machine gun nest at the tree line overlooking the beach and was testing their machine gun. Dad then told us more about his trip to the office. While he had been up on the roof, an Army staff car had pulled up in front of the office, and an Army officer got out and banged on the door and demanded to be let in. My dad went down and let him in, and he said that the Army was commandeering the entire office and all its film and cameras for the war effort. My dad said, "Well, I guess that's okay," and he went back up to the roof. A few minutes later, another staff car pulled up, and a Navy officer got out and banged on the door. My dad let him in, and he said that the Navy was commandeering the entire office and all its film and supplies for the war effort. My dad says, "Okay, you go in and talk to the Army guy in there," and my dad went up to the roof and let them fight it out. The Army and Navy decided to share the resources, and for the rest of the war, my dad ran the Kodak office to support them and the war effort. As manager of the office where the films were being processed, he got to see the first pictures of the attack on Pearl Harbor, and he got some prints which he kept and later gave to us. He was able to see the movies that were being taken later in the war, and it took me down to the Kodak office where I had a chance to see the gun camera films of the attacks on the Japanese islands and all the battles that were there, even before the rest of the world got to see them. My family tried to pretend that everything was normal, and we even made our Christmas card for 1941. Here a bomb, there a bomb, but everywhere a Merry Christmas. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.